And now, the general weather around Alaska. Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Friday, September 20th, 2024. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I give you in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That's the National Weather Service's online presence. It'll bring you to a map of the continental U.S. And if you point and click anywhere on this map, including the areas here for Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left, or these tabs for the territories, you can get a very specific local forecast for anywhere in the nation, including any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. A quick check of the lower 48 map this Friday afternoon shows some coastal flood advisories along areas of the mid-Atlantic coast. We have heat advisories across portions of Oklahoma and into Arkansas, a red flag warning for critical fire weather conditions due to dry conditions, gusty winds, low humidities, warm temperatures here in Wyoming, and then frost advisories and freeze warnings for portions of eastern Washington state into western Montana. In Alaska, we have some winter weather to contend with in northern parts of the state, whereas the Panhandle getting rain now with some gusty winds, small craft advisories, gale force winds. Those will tend to diminish as we go into Saturday, but still some areas of lingering rain and rain showers over the Panhandle Saturday into early Sunday, and then another system coming in Sunday night and through the early middle part of next week. First significant snowfall is underway now in the central Brooks Range around Adigan and Anatuvik passes. As much as 6 to 12 inches of wet snow could fall there now through early Sunday morning. And speaking of early Sunday morning, it's around 4:43 or so in the morning. The astronomical arrival of fall, or the autumnal equinox, will occur here for the northern hemisphere. And it looks like an active weather pattern is returning as we speak later this weekend through next week into early October. We're going to start to see a parade of moderate to occasionally stronger low pressure systems that are going to bring some heavier precipitation, gusty winds, and the potential even for some snowfall, especially mid and higher elevations of some of the coastal and even interior mountains. Quick check here up in the far north into the central Brooks Range, Chandler Shelf showing snow and fog. Adigan Pass also similar conditions with the snow accumulating there. As I was telling you yesterday, we have that winter storm warning for these areas. Through early Sunday morning, 6 to 12 inches of snow on the way. Selawik in the west there, east of Kotzebue, mostly sunny, 47 degrees. Those of you west and southwest areas of the state, including the coastal areas, are enjoying drier weather. So get out and get those winter preparations complete, because we do have some colder air that's going to come in on the backside of a low pressure system that works its way into the Gulf during the early and middle part of next week, and that's going to cool things down across the northern and western areas of the mainland. Akiak on the south side of Kodiak Island enjoying mostly sunny skies this Friday afternoon, 55 degrees. You're going to have more rain moving in on Sunday, along with some gusty winds as that low pressure works its way south and just east of your location. Late Sunday into early next week. And then in the Panhandle, Cake, overcast, some light rain, 50 degrees. Areas of the Panhandle are seeing either a steadier rain or lighter rain showers and some gusty winds today. Still, those areas of rain and rain showers will linger through a good part of the weekend and at least into early Sunday in some locations before another round of moderate to locally heavy rain impacts much of the Panhandle here early into middle of next week. So the only warning we have out right now is the winter storm warning for accumulating snow, as much as 6 to 12 inches of snow in through the central Brooks Range, especially up there toward the higher mountains. There's the Dalton Highway passes there through Adigan Pass. That's the area that's under the gun here. Now through early Sunday morning, we have a special weather statement for the central southern portion of the Panhandle. That's in anticipation of not the current weather system in low pressure that's down here in the Gulf, but there's another one that's passing south of the Aleutians that'll come up into the Gulf early next week. That's going to bring another round of moderate to locally heavy rainfall starting later Sunday night and then Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. That will also potentially increase the threat of landslides when you get that kind of continuous precipitation. We also have the Suicide Basin of the Mendenhall Glacier refilling. It's about half full, And with these rounds of heavier rain moving in, that's going to cause that glacial basin to fill back up. And the question is, when will it release at some point? So we're keeping a very close eye on that situation, given the historic glacier dam outburst that occurred here just earlier this past August. And looking at the satellite imagery, you can see the enhanced cloud cover, the surge of moisture along this front that's pushing up into the panhandle, going to bring more rain. Back to the west, we have another low out here over the western central Aleutians, but there's yet another system that's going to be coming up out of there. That'll be the main feature that comes back into the Gulf late Sunday night and into early next week. There's a trough of low pressure nudging into the Brooks Range north slope. That's what's enhancing the snowfall. That's why we have that forecast for heavy snowfall into the central Brooks Range now into early Sunday morning as a result of that feature. So now we do have some enhancement to the clouds here out over the Gulf. Wouldn't even be surprised there's some flashes of lightning with that. And then back to the west, we have the one area of low pressure, but again, that's not going to be the next significant system. Here's the current low over the lower Gulf, North Pacific, that's heading northeast. Will be weakening on Saturday. We have a little trough at the surface. It's the upper level, mid-upper level feature that's digging into the Brooks Range that's going to enhance the snowfall there. Weak ridge of high pressure bearing straight up into the Chukchi Sea. And then this low that's currently crossing through the central Aleutians is not going to amount too much. It's another one following it that will be the next notable system. We still find the low here late tonight into early Saturday morning, and that will gradually begin to weaken on Saturday, just off of the west coast or the outer coast of the Panhandle. And we'll continue to see some lingering areas of rain or lighter rain showers over the Panhandle Saturday, though. Some of the rain could be on the moderate side Saturday, the southern half of the Panhandle. Here comes that next low as we go Saturday into Sunday. It kind of skirts along and just south of the Aleutian chain, and it will do the same with the Alaska Peninsula, but it's down around 967 millibars, so that's a strong low. And that low will work its way northeastward and eventually kind of pull back to off the Kenai coast Tuesday into Wednesday and weekend. But nevertheless, it has a frontal system out ahead of it. It's going to have bands of moderate to locally heavy rain pushing up along areas of the Gulf Coast into the Panhandle. So again, that's why that special weather statement for the central southern Panhandle, this frontal system associated with that low could bring some moderate to locally heavy rain, 2-3-inch rainfall amounts each day, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. And what this low will do by Tuesday into Wednesday, once it gets up into this position here in the Gulf, the northeast, northerly, and northwesterly flow, the northerly flow on the backside of this low is going to draw down some colder air across northern and west side of the mainland. So you're going to see some cooler, colder fall temperatures. So Saturday morning, lows generally in the 40s here in through the Panhandle. Could see some 30s south central with areas below freezing like Copper River Basin. And then daytime highs, we're only looking for highs. Could get up to about 61 there at Klawak and Craig. That'll be one of the warmer readings in the southern Panhandle. Otherwise, lower 50s generally speaking throughout south central up toward Talkeetna. Still a dry day. Get out here in south central and get some winter prep done because we don't have too many more days like this. We should see a fair amount of sunshine in many spots. Sunday morning lows with the cloud cover lingering, kind of a break. The rain should be letting up here in the southern Panhandle before daybreak. Lows generally in the 40s. Copper River Basin below freezing in the 20s. Could see near freezing there around Kenai, Soldotna, interior areas of the Kenai Peninsula, and certainly below freezing along and around areas of the Alaska Range where you have clearer skies. And then high temperatures Sunday afternoon, 50s to maybe just a tad above 60 in the southern parts of the Panhandle. Otherwise, high temperatures around or just a little bit above 50. Clouds will be on the increase from southwest to northeast with that next low and frontal system coming up toward the southwest and western Gulf. Definitely be there by Monday. So for areas of the central and northern mainland, low temperatures, pockets will be below freezing as typical cold spots like the spine of the Brooks Range, at least mid-20s with some moderate to at times heavier snowfall. Could be down around freezing at Nome, up there along areas of the northwest coast as we get up to Point Lay, Utqiagvik. And then daytime highs At best, 40s in the Yukon, Tanana valleys. Generally only in the 30s, mid-upper 30s along areas of the North Slope and Arctic coast, but at below freezing here in through the Brooks Range as you go up the Dalton Highway. And as we go into Sunday morning, with the snowfall accumulated in things, colder temperatures down near 20 up there along the Dalton Highway up through Adigan and Anatuvik passes. We're looking at lows 25 as you get up near the Alaska Range on the north side. So definitely just a general trend toward cooler weather temperatures. Again, mainly 40s, Seward Peninsula, the Yukon Valley, Tanana Valley, warmest temperature. Could flirt with 50 at Fairbanks, but that would be about it. And for the southwest interior, lows above freezing tonight, with the exception of maybe up toward McGrath as you get up near the Alaska Range. 40s along the Alaska Peninsula and through the Aleutians. And then daytime highs Saturday afternoon should still get back up 52 around Dillingham, King Salmon. And lower 50s, maybe as warm as 54 there around Dutch Harbor. And then temperatures Sunday morning. Could see some areas as you get into the upper Kuskokwim River Basin below freezing. Coastal areas 30s, mid-upper 30s, and then again 40s. With that system working its way with windier conditions and cloud cover and rain, we're looking at lows 40s to near 50 degrees Sunday morning there along the Alaska Peninsula. And then Sunday afternoon we have that low just south of the Alaska Peninsula, passing south of Kodiak Island. So you'll have easterly flow in these regions. Temperatures highs in the 40s through the lower Yukon basin from Imanik on up as you get up toward Anvik. And here's the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. This is for the end of the month, September 26th through the 30th. We do expect some colder temperatures, especially over the western mainland and down across the Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians. The probability is higher for below normal temperatures, as well as some below normal temperatures, the northeastern Gulf Coast into the Panhandle, near normal as you get up toward the Yukon Flats, Fairbanks, up to Kaktovik. And then precipitation is expected to average above normal, southeast mainland in through the northeastern Gulf Coast and Panhandle for the end of the month. And then here is the outlook for temperatures coming up for October. This is the 30-day temperature outlook provided by the Climate Prediction Center of the Weather Service. And it says the most likely areas to see temperatures average above normal is along the North Slope Arctic coast, with below normal temperatures along areas of the southwest coast, Alaska Peninsula, eastern Aleutians, and near normal temperatures from areas of the Bering Strait, Kotzebue, Nome, southeastward across south central areas, the Alaska Range, Anchorage, in through much of the Panhandle. Precipitation may average a bit above normal over southwest Alaska, the YK deltas, west side of the state, with near normal precipitation around the Kenai Peninsula, Cook Sound, or Cook Inlet, on up through Fairbanks, along the Elkhorn border, and including much of the Panhandle.